Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Good enough. All right, let's see. What do these tea leaves have to say tonight? All right. And so our card is the Eight of Wands, which has to do with swiftness. And kind of an electricity flowing through your life, the elements aligning, and things begin to move quickly. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to start, well, I want to look at this one. We have a person who's kind of standing here. It looks like they're dropping something, and it looks like it's kind of coming down on the head of this other person here. So I get this, there's a saying of dropping knowledge on somebody's head, which is basically teaching somebody something. And this is the impression that I get. Okay, so you, I feel, are really, have been recently, or will be in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, very connected with somebody. I feel like this is a person that you are kind of building with. You maybe are romantic. Maybe this is a partner in some kind of business, somebody that you are creative with. Maybe this is a friend that you like to discuss things with and you just kind of build off of each other's ideas. Whatever it is, I really believe that there's a closeness here, and almost like you can sit and talk for hours and you just get lost in these conversations. It really expands your mind and likewise expands theirs as well. This is one of those kind of rare friendships, romantic partners, business partners, whatever, that you just are really in a place of, frequencies aligning, and it feels so natural. This is a beautiful, beautiful configuration, alignment, not something that happens too often in life. When we're young, I think it's easier to be open and connected to people. For some people, right? Some of us. Some of the other, some others of us. So I feel like I'm in both boats here, depending. But it's hard to connect to people. I have social anxiety, so I always have. I didn't realize it until I got older, but I just have trouble, getting to that point where you can just be yourself. You can talk about anything, I think when you can have a lot of humility, right? And kind of just, as they say, keep it real. Then, you get to a place where you can really connect with somebody deeply. And, that especially as you get older, it might seem when you're young, everybody has this. It might happen, you know, continuously for you. It might be like one person, one good friend, or maybe you are seeking it and you feel like this will happen for me at some point, right? But as you get older, I think you start to realize like this does not happen that often in life. You know, we're lucky if we have a few people that we really connect with, and especially if there's any longevity to it. But I think that in this instance, you really are you just fit together right now. Will this last forever? I don't know. This maybe is an ongoing, long relationship. I feel like there's a lot of power in it. This person almost seems like some kind of anime character, like powering up or something. And then this one up here, although on higher ground, I feel like there's a big connection. You know, there's not like a lording over, feeling superior to, but you can see, and I turn it this way, this one actually looks like a fish. And then down here we have a beautiful flower that's kind of growing at the feet of this person. So I feel like there is this sense of like feeding, nourishing, you know, this back and forth of ideas, really leveling up together as beings. And there's just like a feeling of a full bloom there. Okay. And so I think that this is an alignment that is truly meant to be. And you know, I really think that if you are so lucky to get into this space with somebody, definitely don't squander it. Allot some time if you are able. I know we're all busy. We all have a million things going on. But if you feel yourself getting to this place in a conversation that can take you away into the night, don't worry about, you know, oh, I'm going to be too tired in the morning. Let yourself roam. Let your mind roam. Really get in there and, you know, it seems, I really feel like we go through our life, it goes so fast. You look back and you think, when is the last time I stayed up all night talking to somebody? You know, just daydreaming and musing and all of these kinds of things. See, I'm lucky because I get to stay up and do this with you and record my readings late at night. But you know, it really is a rare thing. So, here we have a baboon, which is really interesting. I rarely ever see Thoth, the god, in the baboon form. And as we know, Thoth is the god of magic, the sciences. I think Sekhmet is of writing, but keeping, I think, records and also a psychopomp. So a guiding spirit. I truly feel like, okay, there is a sense, really, Libra, for you that is coming about, that is kind of this feeling of like, we've made it. Okay, you made it through. You've really experienced some difficult stuff in the last couple of years. There's been some setbacks, but I feel that you are feeling like you are every day growing stronger, more confident. You're excelling in areas of your life that you never even necessarily considered to put your time into. And I think this is a lot of the spiritual, the self-work, the creative. Okay, I feel like you are very aligned with your intuitive nature, your psychic nature. And I really feel like you're having a lot of strong visions, or will be in the near future. This is going to be an important time. I see here we have an hourglass with a snake wrapped around it. Okay, and I feel like This is a sense of prophetic knowledge coming. There is, you know, some, I think, really important information coming through for you. And I think that it's very important for you to keep track of it, to keep records of this, diaries. But what really comes to mind is having a sketchbook where you can sketch out some of your thoughts. I think that not only are you going to be having kind of these prophetic visions, but also this is a really potent time for manifesting. So I think taking some of this imagery, these thoughts, putting them into sketches and keeping these things for yourself, keeping them maybe in an altar, or one I really like to do, bundle them up, tie them off with some kind of, you know, blessed twine. I like to use twine. And then put them under your pillow and sleep, or I don't put them under my pillow because it will end up under the bed, but I like to put them in my pillowcase. And these are, you know, good for, doing this is good for prayers, healing, manifestation, talisman for different kinds of dream work that you're doing, protection, that kind of thing. But I think in this case, sketching the thoughts that are coming through, the visions that you're having, and especially the ones you want to manifest, keep those in a bundle, put them in your pillow. Okay. I think that this is a powerful time. You want them close to your mind and your psyche and to your dream space. Okay. And now we have up here, we have a ram that's kind of in this very powerful position. We have the chest kind of up here. The head is nice and kind of, you know, headstrong there, and resting up here and balancing on another rock over here. So I feel that you are truly in a place of just, you know, all of those energies coming together, mind, body, soul, but especially your emotional life feels very potent, very strong, a lot of self-confidence. And I think that this is part of what is helping these visions kind of channel into your forward psyche, okay? And why you are able to perceive them. Now, I think it's really a matter of what are you going to do with these things? What are you, you know, what are you going to be trying to manifest? I think that it's important that you have some kind of clear vision of your goals. Right? You know, we can just try to manifest whatever into our life with no plan, but what good is that? That's, you know, that's a good recipe for squandering these potent times, these beautiful alignments that we find ourselves in. So I think, you know, really having some kind of plan about what you want to do in your material life, your emotional life, and your spiritual life, at least for the next 6 months, right? Having that plan. And as you're having these visions come through, these daydreams, these dream symbols, whatever it is that, whatever realm that really you work in the best, then as these come through and you start to kind of chart them, or, you know, draw them, chart them, kind of, you know, figure out what feels, where your intuition leads you, which kind of hallways of thought you want to go down, and then applying these to your goals. And that's where you begin, you know, deciding what is it that I want to manifest? What kinds of images and symbols that are coming through to me will be good for this cycle of manifestation, okay? And I think this is something that probably this person that you are so close to, this is something that maybe you should be talking to them about. And now if you are not kind of an outwardly spiritual or, you know, magical practitioner or whatever, I know it can be hard to talk to people about these things. They might think, okay, this is really strange or, you know, whatever. But I think that this person is somebody who is very receptive. And I think that you know that. And that's probably why this connection is so strong right now, because you both are building upon, you know, these energies. And I would not be surprised if they were having similar, you know, onslaughts of visions or kind of downloads from spirit and that kind of thing. Okay, so definitely a good place to kind of take some of this information. Okay. Now we do have a nice little heart right here. And I want to look at this one right here. We have this kind of figure. It has kind of the upside down triangle head, and then the arms. It reminds me of kind of a primordial goddess, maybe something like Tanit. Oh, what is the other one's name? Is it? It starts with an H, and I can't think of what it is. I think maybe actually, I don't know how to pronounce it. But anyways, these very kind of I'm trying to think. But a goddess nonetheless, right? A fertility goddess, a youthful goddess, a goddess of manifestation and creativity. And so very blessed in that way. I think if you have a particular, you know, goddess consciousness that you relate to, this is a good time to activate that energy into your life, okay? And I think that that's already very, very potent in your space. I think that you are interacting with that quite a bit. And then we have, let's see. So I think we have a J and an I. Okay, so name, word, and then we have here, it looks like a horse, okay, and then a fire, okay, and so I kind of almost, oh, and I'm looking at this one, I'm seeing, it looks like a person who's holding on to a child here. It looks like another person who's kind of reaching out to the child. So it almost feels like a sense of separation or being pulled in different directions. And I almost feel like with this mother goddess kind of overlooking this situation, it almost kind of feels like protecting this child. And I wonder if this is not like kind of an old pain for you. Maybe there was a divorce or kind of a splintering of your family of some kind. It seems like I feel like you were torn away from something or somebody. Almost, I wonder if you, like maybe a grandmother, an aunt, something. And I feel like that was very painful for you. And I feel like this is something that is going to come up in your work. This is something that is it feels like something that you can kind of just gloss over usually. you know, as part of your story, your self-mythology. But when you really take the time to kind of look at it, it is a very emotional place for you. And something that has not been directly approached really or processed. And so I think that this is something that is going to be coming up, especially maybe in some of this visions that are coming through. Okay, and then I see with the fire and the horse, I feel like this is just a sense of being very brave. I feel like you are in an alignment where there's a lot of love, a lot of support. You're feeling confident in your abilities. Things really seem very clear to you. That doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt, right? The emotion is still very deep. But I feel like you have the ability to reverse some of those hurtful things, more so than maybe any other time in your life, especially with this particular situation. You also have the blessing of this goddess kind of intelligence, right? So that energy is kind of safeguarding you. Okay. And if that comes from an external source or from an interior source, it doesn't matter. Okay. Probably both, right? So you are protected. And this seems like a very beautiful, profound, moving time for you. And I feel like all this is happening, as we said, with the Eight of Wands. This is a swift energy that is coming through. Okay. All right, let's take a look down here. We don't have a lot. We just have a lot of watery, emotional stuff, okay? But we also have something that looks very close to a square. So what comes to mind is things getting squared away, okay? Becoming, everything kind of getting to its place. Not neatly put away, right? But getting this process of processing going, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to look at the Water Blessings affirmation cards. Last week we did the indigo sage cards, which were the air cards. These are the water cards. And next week we'll do the earth ones. So I'm going to pull this up here. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to just kind of stop where it feels right. Okay, we had this one in another reading. But it seems like it wants to be seen more than once. So, vitality, balance, celebrate as Shiva dances, softly dissolving illusion. I think this is totally the energy. With these visions, with this self-work, they're the veneer, the veil, the kind of story we tell ourselves to protect ourselves. I mean, it is a coping mechanism. It falls away, right? Because we can finally kind of take that illuminating light and hold it up to these obscured places in our psyche and our emotionality and our own stories. And we take a good look, right? And when those feelings come up, we begin to process them, okay? We're, like that brave stallion. We go right into it. And, these old things that kind of feel haunting, they change in that light. We're not tormented by these things as much. Do we ever get rid of that hurt? I don't know. I don't think so. Not always, anyways. Does it become less of a burden to carry around? Again, sometimes not, but maybe a little bit, right? And there's more context. I think it's important not to spend our whole lives kind of excavating our childhood. But, you know, when things are so, I mean, just so painful, you know, and especially the things, I mean, it's so interesting, as you are doing healing work, interior work, there are a lot of things in your life that you kind of just, maybe you thought were funny or, you know, whatever, it's just something that happened, it wasn't that big of a deal. But as you kind of do these other healings that are adjacent to these kinds of situations, when you really take the time to look at them, it can be very, you know, you can be amazed at how painful these things really were for us. And that's, I think, because a lot of our understanding of life, our beliefs about the world, about people, come from these situations. You know, that maybe don't seem like a big deal, but they kind of are, especially when they happen during those, you know, very formative years. Okay. All right. I want to go ahead and say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring you these messages. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm, and that helps the channel grow. We just surpassed 16K today, so yay! And if you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. You know, it's very helpful for the channel, but also I don't want you to miss any videos. So if you hit that little bell, it'll let you know when the next ones are coming out. Between now and the next Libra, you can watch your other placements, your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising, Venus, and cross-watching, which is when you watch readings for your loved ones, your kids, your spouse, your crush, your, you know, third grade teacher, or whoever, right? You know, so other than that, if you want to leave a comment, I read every single one of them and I reply back to each of them. So it might take me a day or two to get to your comment, but I will, I promise. And I appreciate all of them because they really help me feel like I understand you all a little bit more. I love hearing about your lives, about how you connect with the readings. Even if you just want to share how things are, you know, what's going on, what's the weather like, you know, all that kind of stuff. I love hearing about it. And some of you have been around for months now, and I feel like I've really gotten to know you. And that really, you know, is ultimately the biggest reason that I love doing these readings, is that I get to connect with so many cool people. So I thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm going to get these cats to bed. They're starting to climb on the furniture behind me. So pretty soon they're going to be knocking everything over. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will talk again in just a few days.